That's a hard act to follow. In this pandemically polarized, rageful world that we are in right now, I want to put in a plug for more love. Giving and receiving, feeling and sharing love. Our theology tells us that love is stronger than hate, stronger than death. Love can be motivating, powerful, and transformative. But today I want to consider a quieter type of love that takes its power through connection, passing between people as a gift and seeping into our hearts, healing and sustaining us. You heard about this kind of love in the readings, showing love to your partner by rescuing a stray cat, the awkward pats on the back from the parents, or the love that the daughter shows to her ailing mother. Theo shared their river of love from family and friends. Love given and received, felt and reciprocated, powerful and healing. So let's just pause right here and take a moment to reflect on a time when someone showed you love. It could be a big moment or a small one. What did they do? Who were they to you? Stay with that memory for a bit and just let it sink into your body. Where does it show up in your body? Do you feel a softening in your chest, in your face? Is it a warmth? Is it a relaxation and an opening? Note this feeling and where it lives in your body. We'll come back to this later. Now, to help make my case about the need for more love, I bring two prophets of love to the table this morning, Jesus of Nazareth and Fred Rogers. The primary message of Jesus was love your neighbor as yourself. And as an obscure prophet living in the time of the Roman Empire, he had few tools available for radical change. He chose love as his tool. It's easy to forget this essential message in the way that Christianity has been contorted for power. Jesus was the inspiration, one of the most powerful demonstrations of love that I received in my life, and it came from a stranger. I was moving from upstate New York to Washington, D.C., and I had all of my possessions in a rack on top of a Volkswagen Beetle. Somewhere in Pennsylvania, the whole rack came off the top of the car and landed in the middle of the interstate. I pulled over and stood in shock by the side of the road, watching all the cars maneuver around almost everything I owned in the world. I felt helpless and afraid. Then a truck pulls up behind me and a man jumps out. Sorry, it took me a while to get to you. I had to exit and come back around. He then came out, stopped the cars on the interstate, pulled the rack with everything still attached to the side, loaded it into the back of his truck. Follow me, I live close by. Still in shock, I jumped in my car and followed him as he drove off with all of my possessions. We got to his house. He invited me in, and while his wife made me lunch, he repacked everything into the back of my car and reattached the now empty rack to the top. The couple handed me my lunch and sent me off to finish my trip. From where I sat while I was waiting for him to reload my car, I could see pictures, wall hangings, and needle points that had the words of Jesus written on them. At the time, I had a lot of Christian baggage from my childhood and was quite anti-Christian. And yet, here I was, receiving love, motivated by the message of Jesus. This man and his wife chose to show love to a stranger in a powerful way. I don't know what I would have done if he hadn't shown up. I have never forgotten this gift, and I've tried to honor it by living into the values that they expressed. The other prophet's message I want to highlight this morning is Fred Rogers. He brings this message of love to the simplest level. He says to his audience of children, as you grow, I trust that you are finding many ways to show and tell people that you love them. He tells us it's important to do that because loving people and animals and the world we live in is the most important part of being alive. The most important part of being alive. I don't know about you, but I am still growing and learning, and this message is an important reminder to me. A reminder of the power of love, even in the simplest form, with an affirming word, a supportive act, a thoughtful gift, a hand on the shoulder, a pat on the back. Let's go back to that memory you chose of when someone showed you love. Remember how that felt to be shown love in that way. Remember how it felt to receive that love. Let that feeling take shape in you. Let it motivate you. Because the act of sharing love with others starts in our own hearts. It starts because you know what it feels like to have someone offer you a gift of love. Let this memory motivate you to offer more love to this hurting world. Because, as Fred Rogers says, loving people and animals and the world we all live in is the most important part of being alive.